Okay, so have you ever, like, watched a movie and kind of wondered, are there really that many dudes in this?
Yeah, that's definitely something I've thought about.
Like, is Hollywood really making progress, showing, women on screen?
Totally. It's something a lot of us are curious about.
Yeah. Well, in this deep dive, we're going to explore a study that analyzed a ton of films, something like 3,700 popular films
Hmm.
from 1985 all the way to 2019.
Oh, wow, that's a lot of movies.
Yeah. And they used AI and facial recognition, so, it's a bit more objective, like data-driven, to track how often women actually appear on screen.
That's really cool. AI is changing everything, even film analysis.
Seriously. And we're going to break down all the juicy details, like how trends have changed over time, how different movie genres stack up, and like what it all means for, how gender is portrayed in media and stuff.
I'm excited to dive in.
Me too.
Data on the screen, numbers come alive. Male, female flows where the patterns thrive. Visual charts, public colors unify. Gender decoded, bringing truth to light. Small drum fill. We break it down, real talk. Trends unveiling, facts from every block. Here's your insight, watch the data glide. Gender decoded, let the beats collide.
This isn't just like counting heads, it goes way deeper.
Right. And they didn't just look at like the last couple of years. This spans from 1985 all the way to 2019.
A pretty solid chunk of time. So we're going to see how things have or haven't shifted over a few decades.
Exactly. So like you were saying, it goes beyond just, are there women in this film? It uses what they call the male and female face ratio. It's really interesting.
Yeah, the face ratio. What does that even mean?
So basically, the AI looks at screen time, like how long a face is actually visible. But it goes further. It analyzes like the prominence of the characters in a scene. Are they central? Are they, kind of off to the side?
So it's not just about being present. It's about how prominently they're featured. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So what did they find? Did this, face ratio reveal any surprises?
Well, first, I guess not too surprisingly, male faces are still, dominant throughout the whole period. But there's a really interesting trend starting around like 2015. We see a jump in the female face ratio.
Oh, so things are moving, even if slowly? What kind of jump are we talking?
A noticeable jump, around 7%, which doesn't sound like a lot, but, think about how massive the film industry is.
7% in Hollywood is huge.
Yeah, exactly. It makes you think, like, is this connected to, all the discussions we've been having about gender equality in recent years? Or maybe the fact that we're seeing more women filmmakers, producers, who knows?
It's hard to say for sure, but, it's definitely a correlation worth noting.
Totally. Now, this is where it gets really cool. The study also broke down this representation by genre.
Ooh, now that's getting specific. What did they find there? Because I know you're all about genre.
Oh, I am. And there were definitely some patterns, some expected, some not so much. For example, biographies, adventure films, family movies.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah, they tend to have higher female face ratios. It makes you wonder if those genres are just naturally maybe more open to more balanced representation.
Yeah, this is a fascinating observation. What about the other end of the spectrum? What genres are still, shall we say, lagging behind?
No surprise here, but horror, mystery, thrillers heavily skewed toward male characters.
Yeah, you could see that coming. Why do you think that is? Especially horror, right? I feel like there have been some awesome female-led horror flicks lately.
Right, and I think that's starting to shift things, but you have to consider these genres are often built on really long-standing tropes and audience expectations, right? So it might take a bit longer to see a real change.
It's true. Those expectations are deeply ingrained, from decades of storytelling.
Exactly, and that's why this study is so important. It gives us the data to really, look at these trends and have these conversations.
Hard to argue with the numbers, right? So looking at all of this, what's the main takeaway?
Progress is happening, but we're nowhere near true gender parity in film. And, it's not just about, oh, let's add more women. It's about the types of roles, the depth, the complexity, making sure they're just as nuanced as male characters.
It's about equality, not just numbers.
Exactly. And this data is like the first step, right? It makes us examine our own assumptions and biases.
As viewers and as part of the industry.
100%.
So much to think about. And that's what we want, right? We want you thinking. So here's a question to ponder after this deep dive. Knowing what we know now, what needs to happen to really achieve that balance?
What role do filmmakers play? Studios? Audiences? It's a complex issue, right? But these trends give us a starting point.
Lots to discuss for sure. Thanks for breaking all this down.
Thanks for having me.
And to everyone listening, keep those conversations going. We'll see you next time for another deep dive.